Playtime is officially over. The time for chilling is officially over. And what I mean by that is I just had a little bit of internal reflection, right? And I just kind of realized, like, shit, my goal numero uno, my top priority, my freaking prime directive is gone, right? Because over the last, freaking nearly 5 months, basically every day kind of revolved around the dieting for competition. That's like all I was pretty much thinking about. Like, of course I was playing on my phone. It wasn't like constantly the only thing, right? But that was my main shit. And now it's over, right? So I got to get back on track, get some more goals visualized in my freaking mind, because the classic sort of ship without a captain analogy, I really kind of resonate with. Not like, me on a personal level, but just like the logic of it, right? If you take out a boat, you take out your car or whatever, you've got one place that you're headed. If you don't know where that one place is, then you're just driving. So it's I know it's a little cheesy, but it's cheesy because it gets said so much because it's so true. So if you have something in your mind which you're interested in, or which you, even just at the, not even the lowest level, but even just at a level of like, oh yeah, it'd probably be cool if I could do that. Yeah, that'd probably be kind of fun. Or you see somebody doing something like, oh man, that guy looks like he's, yeah, that'd be kind of cool, whatever. Like any interest, any endeavor, any whatever that you want to get into, it could start off as small as that, as like, okay, that seems kind of, and if you just start to visualize this end result, it'll make it much easier to keep on course. And then it's your responsibility to break down this huge gap from where you are to where you want to be into just day by day by day by day by day steps. So for me with the competition, of course I know about general dieting. Like I've gotten leaner before, bulk and cutting and everything. This took it to a little more of an extreme, but as big of a freaking crazy goal as that is from where I was before, and those those side by side pictures of me fully bulked versus the last few days of that sort of prep, very different. But as drastic as that might seem, and it's like, whoa, that's so, you look way different than you did then. It's increasing, certainly an increasing level of leanness. But on a day by day basis, all it was calorie deficit training, and just try not to overeat. And even then, I had a couple days where I really flew off the handle in terms of the calorie intake. Not so much in the last like month-ish, or really more like 2 months, because that's kind of crunch time. You really do get locked in. But like the 3 months going into it before, I just kind of got all the food out of my system, or really into my system, because I'm like, oh jeez, I just got to grow up today. Let's not even worry about it. So what I'm trying to say there is, since that since the goal that I was aiming for has now been achieved, right, you get some kind of celebratory relaxing, right? You're like, oh yeah, I did it, nice. But that's not the fun part. Really, the chasing it was the fun part, right? So now I gotta sort of rewire myself to get a larger version of myself visualized in my mind, and really get into a freaky bulking mentality. Because one thing I think I've taken from this whole prep of the last dieting phase, which I can use going into this bulking phase, is the rigidity that was required. So I want this bulking phase to be much more streamlined in a sense, right? No big fluctuations of calories in and out day by day. Like, if this is my calorie goal, I want to be pretty much right there, maintain steady weight gain, and then once I can tell I need a bump of 300, 400 calories, change my daily intake accordingly and keep going upward. Because with any good experiment, with any good setup, there isn't a lot of variables, and the ones there aren't a lot of uncontrolled variables. you know. So everything I've got at my disposal, which I've got physical control over, right? My training intensity, the calories, the diet, I guess it's the same thing, hydration and recovery. If I got control over those and they have an effect on my end result of, you know, my sort of mass gaining off-season phase, then I want to exert as much control over it as possible and make as much use of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's sort of my logic there. But really what I was just trying to get into is, like, if you have something you want to do, even as small or simple as it might seem, like, don't just brush that off as like, you know, don't just brush that off as, well, you know, I'm not really feeling like it today, and well, you know, my gas tank's empty, I'm gonna have to get gas on the way out, or just, you know, don't just let yourself come up with any sort of random ass freaking excuse, because it's not even you that's making that excuse. It's not even like your legitimate being that's saying, okay, I don't really want to do this. It's more so just like, you know, your subconscious kind of wanting to draw you back, you know, because the same thing with your body, it doesn't really like change. You know, once you're kind of full grown, you know, once you reach unk status, of course, when you're a kid, you're still just growing, like height-wise, puberty-wise, it's a little different. But like once you're straight grown, your body kind of wants to stay right where it is. It wants to eat as much food as it wants every day. It wants to go to sleep the same time every day. It doesn't want to grow, and it doesn't want to shrink. Right? It just wants to stay where it's at. You know, so if you took a guy and you gave him the same food every day, you didn't train him or anything, and, you know, he just lived a normal ass freaking life, odds are he's probably not going to, you know, suddenly blow up with muscle, and he's probably not going to shrink down either. He's just going to, you know, stay right there where he is. And your mind doesn't like uncomfortability either, because you're basically giving yourself kind of stressful signals in your head. Like when I'm doing a crazy set of squats, you know, consciously I'm thinking, holy shit, this is freaking hard. But it's like, go crazy anyway. But, you know, my subconscious mind, or I guess you'd say, well, just whatever, all it's seeing is like, okay, crap, your legs are getting really stressed out, you know, your heart's pumping, you're sweating. Oh, come on, we don't want to do any of this. You know, so in the same sense with your thoughts, you know, anytime you get those little bubbling up excuses, which, I mean, you know, who benefits from that? Like, tell me for real, you know, you're about to say, all right, I'm going to lock in 3-mile run every morning, 6 a.m. before work, before school, before whatever, 30 minutes of cardio, no matter what that goal might be. Well, you know, I don't really, just, like, really, that's not something you should be listening to. And eventually, the more you work out, the easier it gets to work out. You can almost not even give those excuses any validity, you know, like, oh man, oh crap, it's already 8 o'clock and I've got legs to, you know, like somebody who hasn't lifted for a long time, they might have to struggle with that a little bit. Maybe they'll even give in and say, I'll do legs tomorrow, I'll make it a rest day, you know. Like, it's not like you're screwed or anything. You know, if you took any 1 or any 10 or even any 30, actually, I don't even know, maybe any 100 lifts out of the last 6 years of my training and just had them like disappear, I'd probably still be just about right here. I mean, you're not screwed if you suddenly miss a training day or anything, but it's kind of just like the mindset that you have to not skip them. You know what I'm saying? So what I was about to get at was, the longer you train, the more comfortable you get with the training, the less you'll give those thoughts any validity, because you'll just be like, I train, man. I identify as a baller. I'm going to hit legs even if it's 11. You know, my schedule dictated it, but I got to freaking make this shit happen. You know, so that's just a little insight into some of those little back and forth battles of, you know, oh, should I do this or should I just... No, come on. The harder you go, the better, on average, I would say. But plan for today's lift with back. Wait, no, what am I saying? With arms. With arms. All triceps first, followed by all biceps. And honestly, I'm not even sure what I'm going to do movement-wise. I've been starting with rope extensions almost exclusively, but they feel so good. Right? They warm up my triceps. I get a crazy squeeze in the beginning. I mean, it's just an awesome opener, you know. So usually I don't want to do the same workout over and over again, or the same opener over and over again because it can get a little monotonous, right? But you can't argue with the fact that if it works, it works. But we'll see. Once I actually get in there, see how busy it is, really just what machines are open will even play a little bit of a role into how the workout goes. But I can guarantee that within an hour of putting all my stuff down and doing some light tricep extensions to warm up, I should be posing down in reasonably freaky lighting with what I hope to be, well, I mean, it's almost guaranteed to be the freakiest arm pump of this off season. And spoiler alert, more to freaking come. But I think no more chatting. Let's go make it happen. All right, let's change it up. Still light-ish with a hold emphasis, but instead of the rope, let's do underhand single arm D handle. A little funky, but in a good way. So, small side first. No more. No. 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 Okay. One more like that. Oh my God, okay. These are kind of fancy. I'm getting like a really crazy stretch on the top, but I think that's enough. Let's do something tricep related. I can guarantee it. A little Burrow Mark cameo. He's busting out some curls with the 40s as he should. So here, easy bar, stack, slow and controlled. I don't want to just make these nasty pump out reps just yet. I feel like in the beginning of the lift, I get a little more out of the squeeze and controlled stuff. And then once I'm already pumped and I'm like full blood and swollen, that's when I can make use of kind of some nasty reps. Because it's almost like it's like you're trying to make a fire. This isn't like a rule or anything, but if you're making a fire, you don't just start off by trying to blow as much air onto a bunch of wood as possible. It doesn't work. All right, first you gotta be real detailed, methodical, get an ember started, and once it's going, right, once your pump's kind of building up, then it's like you kind of have free range. If I just did this machine only for the next 4 sets, I'm sure I'd have a good lift, right? So that's where my main concern isn't necessarily what set am I doing, but how hard am I doing those sets, if you sort of catch my drift. after I pick a better song. I don't really want to overdo twice in a row. Okay. One more of those. Okay, I lied. One more. And then machine dips will be good next. Okay. All right. Let's get some dips going. And honestly, I think that would probably be it. But we'll see. Not the full stack, but enough weight to have a dirty squeeze at the bottom. And this might be it. One set here could be enough to fully thrash my triceps, but that's to be determined afterward. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think that's as pumped and wrecked as they're gonna get. At least in a good way. Let's go curl. Alright, well, I didn't record the first set, but all it was like kind of a long, slow, sort of torturous set with the 45s. So I'm a little warmer now. Let's grab the 55s, be a little dirtier with it. In a good way, but a little more nasty. Okay. Oh, goodness. Let's grab a machine curl next. Those are pretty good, though. Moderately controlled. Really just a hard, straight set of curls. And I don't have to be too form focused, because with a machine like this, it's kind of hard to mess it up. Like, you'd really have to be trying to fucking smack your body around to really sort of force any body language. Really, I just want to sit still, find my happy place. To failure. And honestly, that's what a lot of sets are like if you break it down. But let's not discuss it any further. Okay. Oh, one more of those. Same weight, same everything. That's perfect. Okay. Holy crap. Ooh. Honestly, one set of really good cable curls with a super setup. Oh my gosh, okay. I know what we're finishing with. You just watched an idea form. Okay. Cable curls to start. Throw the cable to the top. Bicep biased pull downs. And that should be it. Frankly, well, I don't have to tell you how I'm feeling. I think you already freaking know. A little heavier on the curl though. Okay. Yeah. No. Two. Yeah. Okay. Oh. So it's a little funky, but doing those pull downs like that, or I'm trying to pull my hands to my shoulders, I'm feeling a ton of stuff out here, sort of brachialis-y-ish. So I'm not usually one to say you have to, hit every muscle fiber from every different angle, every workout. But, regular dumbbell curls, like before, kind of just felt like they hit me everywhere, but a little more kind of down on this side of my bicep. And this movement feels a little more on the outside. Would make sense to kind of bounce around, You do incline and you do decline. You do pull downs and you do rows. But no more discussing. Let's freaking pose down, man. My pump is already fleeting, albeit slowly. All right, so he doesn't know I'm talking about him, but there's a freaking serious physical beast going crazy on the bag. I'll be real with you. Muscular ability does not translate to fighting ability. Now that's not from experience, but let's be real. Come on. But it does have a strong correlation with looking freaking cool. So let's see how we're looking fully pumped up. You can start from the back. Look at this. My arms can just kind of burn like holding this sort of front lat spread from the toes. Oh. I just realized I forgot the measuring tape. But, you know, you don't need a measuring tape to know that your arms are freaking reasonably freaking pumped. But no more chatting. Arms finally freaking complete. And maybe finally is the wrong word, because I was certainly not just waiting on my freaking edge of my seat for this workout to end. One benefit of bulking, just more freaking energy. But let's get out of here. That was good. That was pretty good. Pretty freaking good. Boy. So, I'm sure that some skull crushers will return in due time, but the skull crusher is a little funky. I can't deny the coolness factor that it feels when you're skull crushing like a plate in a 25, or anytime I've ever felt really crazy. I don't think I've ever done skull crushes with 2 plates, and if I did, it was probably like a 6 rep set that I turned into a drop set because I went too heavy. But it's kind of hard on your elbows, man. It just doesn't really feel awesome tendon wise. That's where I really like the overhead extensions on the cable, like where I stick my butt up against the upright, left cheek or the other, just kind of as an extra bit of cushion, and then you can just grab the cable from overhead and bend forward, and you're in a much more stable position. I've never really tried or been too interested in doing the the overhead extensions where you're standing and you pull the rope from beneath you and you're extending upward. That's never really clicked with me. What's really cool is a machine that's specifically made as an overhead tricep extension. Big ass lever arm, handles, full stack, everything that works. The only tricky part is they're rare to come by. You don't see them very often. So that would most certainly be part of the machines I'd want in a perfect baller ass freaking facility. You know what I'm saying? But until then, I can make do. And make do, honestly, isn't even really how you should look at it. If a gym doesn't have your perfect favorite hack squat or Smith squat or pendulum squat or whatever, what are you just gonna turn around and leave? Oh, this gym they can't accommodate me. I don't think anybody has standards that are that high. Come on. Even if I've had to go to a really little and gym only stocked with a couple of dumbbells in a hotel, shit, man, that's just what's gonna happen. The last time I remember doing that, I was at a gym in Georgia, or a hotel gym in Georgia. Me, my dad, and my brother, or would it be me, my brother, my dad, and I? Is that more accurate? Well, they went on kind of a little bit of a golf trip. They just want to go down there to golf, and of course I'm going to tag along. There's freaking gyms all over the place. So we do I don't remember. I think it was maybe it was kind of long. Maybe a 10-hour drive, 8 hours or something. We did shifts. We did 2 hours at a time, each of us, which made it a little easier getting down there. But of course, we get there late. I'm scrambling. I'm like, okay, which Planet Fitness is open? And all of them closed at 7. I don't. What? 7 during the weekdays? It's crazy talk, But there was nothing open. At least nothing within any amount of reason that was actually open at the time. So the gym is just, I think, maybe 5s to 50s. I probably had a chest day schedule, but I decided to do arms instead just to save me the trouble of doing a really weird workout. But so I go down there, no pre-workout, no nothing. This is years ago too, and shit, man, solid arm day. Now that's just one that comes to mind, but it's if that's all you've got access to, whatever. The home gym at my parents' house before I moved out, and let my old bedroom space get full of clutter and stuff. It was just dumbbells with well, actually it was pretty well stocked. Dumbbells, squat rack, adjustable bench, and a sort of a jerry-rigged cable setup so we could do pull downs and tricep extensions. And honestly, having a cable like that for the pull downs and the tricep extensions really adds a lot to a home gym space. Frankly, if I only had maybe 10 feet by 15 feet or if I wanted to make a perfect garage gym as small as possible. So for anybody who might be thinking about something like that, squat rack, adjustable bench, dumbbells, potentially adjustable up to a certain weight. It gets kind of tricky though, because then you probably wouldn't want to throw them, because as tough as they are, they're not that tough as like a really steady made, actual set. So, whatever amount of dumbbells necessary, of course, which is certainly a chunk. But rack, bar, weights, rack, bar, weights, adjustable bench, dumbbells, and then machine-wise, if you could, if somebody could swing getting one of the cable machines that has the 2 adjustable arms, that would be awesome. And a leg extension, leg curl combo, and that would be it. I'd be totally fine with that. Like, honestly, you won't even have to freaking leave, because that's basically everything. Triceps, arms, chest, back, legs, squats and leg extensions. Gee, man, that's it. And of course, I'm not the guy to talk to about making home gyms. You should look up Coop's Garage Gym Reviews. Right? I'm sure we've all been down the rabbit hole of watching all his videos. He's certainly a connoisseur of gym equipment. But with some of those guys, we've all seen the gyms. We've all seen the real fancy pants places that have like a million different attachments and a million different everything. And it's it can be a bit of a rabbit hole to want to go to, because it's like, oh, well, this is the newest bicep curl where it like extends the dumbbell out in front of you so the tension is more constant, or like just random things like that. Gimmick is not too far from a good descriptor of stuff like that. And it could keep the training interesting for you, but don't forget, the most important equipment is whatever you have available to you. So even if you're lifting like a scrappy college gym, I feel like I remember my dad telling me they would work out in like when he was in school, there wasn't like I don't know if there's a rec center or not, but the place they would work out is like somebody's, either like a building's basement or somebody's basement, and it was just like it was dungy, let's say that, right? Certainly dungy. That's just cool, man, So whether you've got a real fancy pants bodybuilding centric gym like a powerhouse or somewhere else like that, or maybe your town only has one little Anytime, so what, man? The weight weighs the same, and it's more so about the energy that you bring to it, so that's what I'm more concerned with. So let's see, what else is there? Is it spring break for you guys? For you youngins? I imagine it is. Kind of sucks though, because I'm sure you can't totally chill. Somebody gave you like a 2-week long project or packet or essay or something along those lines. But yeah, whoa. Never seen a truck go on the curb that much. But I had a really awesome breakfast this morning, so honestly I came into this lift very energized, in a good way, in a freaking good way. So this morning's breakfast consisted of 2 packets of Quaker Oats, the apple cinnamon variety, so that's 66 grams of carbs, some cubed potatoes I made last night from dinner, that was probably about 40-ish grams of carbs, half a leftover ribeye, and 6 sunny side up eggs. But the problem is, I don't know if it's my pan or if it's the temperature I cook them at, I always burn the bottoms of them. So when I actually kind of scoop them out of the pan, I sort of just separate the good cooked white part from like the bottom part that's actually burned and kind of stuck down. It's like it works fine, but it's just, I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe it's the amount of oil I'm using, I'm not sure. But all that together added up to about 75 grams of protein, 100 grams of carbs, and about 50 of fats. Now the fats was a little heavy. I probably could have chilled out and done some egg whites instead of the whole eggs, but it kind of feels just kind of silly throwing away the yolks. Like if I'm going to crack open an egg, I want to kind of make use of the whole thing, not just throw the yolks away. So that's where I'd rather have some egg white cartons. So it's like just do egg whites from the carton and then crack in as many yolks and whites as necessary. But man, egg whites are in freaking short supply. And these, even the dozens are nuts. Like when I was in school, I was a bit more concerned with the cost of the protein. Like I would even kind of do the math. Like, okay, so ground beef is 3 cents per gram, and eggs are 2 cents per gram or something else like that. But I mean, some of these freaking egg cartons, I mean, I'm seeing $6 a dozen, $7 a dozen for, I mean, one whole carton of eggs is 72 grams of protein. So, I mean, if you're doing the yolks as well, then if you're just buying eggs off the carton, 10 cents per gram. It's kind of rough. So that's just one way to think about it. So, if you ever see a big deal of like a huge packet of ground beef that's, going to expire in a day, or maybe like this is the last day, it could be worth clocking in. Just kind of budgeting style. But I will tell you this, not so much protein powder. Honestly, I've been easing off the protein powder slowly and surely for the past maybe, well, honestly, kind of a while. And I think it's only done me well. I'm not sure I have an awesome reaction to the dairy products anyway, when it comes to just my overall, like, sort of just feeling in general. I'm still gonna have some Ben and Jerry's, don't get me wrong, right? I'm never gonna be so lactose intolerant that that's off the menu. That would be insanity. But, well, at least in terms of the actual protein sources, I've kind of begun to stuck to a reasonably rigid rule of making sure that I actually get it from legit sources. And what I mean by that is like, protein where that that's a solid ass protein, and not just by intuition. Like, you can look up protein grading scales, but you can look at one of those up right now. It's I think they grade it on a variety of factors like digestibility, overall absorption, amino acid array. Like, it's, they're pretty smart with how they did it. And things like ground beef and milk and whole eggs and fish and chicken and turkey and, basically a lot of just legit dedicated animal products, they're right up there. I'm talking 100, 90, 95, 80s. And the further you go down, right, you're going to start to see more like bean protein, peanut protein, wheat protein. And then even lower, we're getting into like soy protein, tofu kind of stuff, like legumes, things like that. And that's where, for me, I mean, if I could eat something that's graded, a 9 out of 10 overall as a protein, rather than something that's a 4 out of 10, that's what I'm going to do. But even the protein powder is still up there. Like, the whey isolate is still like, I think it's like at least an 8 out of 10. So it's like, if I'm strapped, I'm going to grab a protein drink. It's not like it's going to kill you or anything. You're still going to get your amino acids. But if I had the choice, I'd rather have like some ground beef or some turkey or eggs instead. Just because I know it's going to react with my system a little bit better. But there is one kind of cool argument, and that's that some proteins are, what's the word? They're not reflective. They are complementary. Yeah, like I'm like 60% sure that whole wheat protein and peanut protein are complementary in that they kind of, I don't know if you know about amino acids and everything else, but there's basically 12 big ones that we would kind of contribute to making up a complete protein, essential amino acids, right? I'm talking like leucine and glutamine and all sorts of other amines. I cannot list all of them off for you, but in the things that are graded more like 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, all of them are present. So it's a complete protein. You're getting everything you need to be able to utilize it to actually build your own, right? That's a bro science explanation, but that's the gist of it. So lower grading proteins, like the peanut proteins or the bread proteins and wheat protein, things like that, they're lower because they don't cover that whole amino acid array. But together, maybe this has like, the peanut has like 6, and then the wheat has the other 6. And so throw in a peanut butter jelly sandwich. I just got groceries 2 days ago, and I had Uncrustables on my mind, grape ones, of course. So I get a box. I think there's maybe 10 of them, 10 or 8, I don't know, either one. And within a couple of hours, that box was empty. So I definitely made use of some of those complementary proteins of the wheat and the peanut butter. But that was not like, because I'm thinking, oh wow, if I eat all of these, it's going to really contribute to my. It was because I wanted them. It was a very nice treat. But plan for the post-workout meal. Undecided. I gotta see what's in the fridge, honestly. So I'm almost walking home, or I'm almost going home with the same logic as I had when I came into the gym. It's like, what movement am I going to start with? How about I get in there and see what's available? So that's kind of my shtick there. But I can guarantee it's going to make up or be made up of at least 100 grams of carbs, maybe even 120. Definitely 50 grams of protein minimum, and maybe more like 20 grams of fat. I don't want to eat too much because I want to keep my fat intake a little lower. I don't really want it to exceed 100 per day much, and I really want to leverage my carb intake in terms of excess kind of calories. So I think that's all I gotta say, man. Good lift, good pump. Now I can go home and eat something and clean up. My office is a freaking mess, so I'm going to see if I can get some of that a little bit sorted today. But I will see you for either a rest day tomorrow or a leg day, depending on how fully recovered my legs feel. So I guess we'll just have to wait until then to find out.